I walked in, ready to surprise my girlfriend with flowers after her shift ended early. But the surprise was on me. She was in the supply closet of the building, pressed up against the wall, her uniform half off, locked in a messy embrace with the janitor, a man I had just passed in the hallway. That moment shattered everything. And that was only the beginning. I was supposed to pick Jenna up after her late shift at the outpatient surgery center where she worked. She texted earlier saying, "Long day. Might be here till midnight." That wasn't unusual, she was a nurse. And I trusted her. Too much, it turns out. But around 9:20 p.m., I got a weird urge to bring her favorite tea and some flowers. Something nice, you know? Something small to remind her I was thinking about her. I drove across town and parked in the far corner of the employee lot like always. It was mostly empty. I walked in through the back entrance. I had done it before. The security guy knew me, nodded like usual. Said something like, "Still a couple nurses back there." I just smiled and went down the hallway toward her wing. That's when I saw her. The supply closet door wasn't fully shut. At first I heard the noise. Not talking. Movement. Breathing. My heart jumped, but my brain didn't catch up. Then I saw her hand, Jenna's hand, grabbing at the shelf, knocking over a tray of gauze packs. I froze. I saw her face. I recognized her watch. Her ponytail. Her scrubs pushed halfway down. And him. The janitor. The same man who always mopped near the elevators. The one I gave $5 to last week after he helped me jump my car in the parking lot. He still had on his utility vest. His face was buried in her neck. Her legs wrapped around his waist. They didn't see me. I dropped the tea. The cup shattered across the floor. The sound made them jump. She spun around, eyes wide, hair a mess. And when she saw it was me, she didn't scream. She didn't cry. She smiled. She actually smiled. Like it was funny. Like I was the idiot in all this. He backed away, muttering something. I couldn't breathe. I turned around and left. I don't remember walking out. I only remember the tea soaking into the hallway tile. Her laughing behind me. The janitor whispering, "You said he wouldn't come." I sat in my car for 2 hours after that, staring at nothing. My hands shook the whole drive home. The next morning, she texted like nothing happened. "Hey, did you make it back okay?" I didn't answer. She came over that afternoon, smiling, like she hadn't just set fire to everything we built in 3 years. That's when the real nightmare started. She walked into my apartment like she still lived there, dropped her bag by the door, kicked off her shoes, and headed straight for the fridge like nothing had happened. I just stood there. My arms felt like they weighed 100 pounds. My voice wouldn't work. She opened a soda, took a sip, turned to me and smiled. "What's wrong, babe? You look like you saw a ghost." I said nothing. She came closer and reached for my face. "You didn't sleep, did you?" That's when I stepped back. That tiny movement made her eyes change. Her smile dropped. "So you're really gonna be weird about it?" she said, leaning on the kitchen island. "I saw you," I said. My voice cracked. "Last night. In the closet." She blinked, then rolled her eyes and laughed. A low, bitter laugh. "You saw me? Oh my God. That's what this is." She took another sip and shook her head. Well, I couldn't believe it. She wasn't scared. She wasn't ashamed. She looked amused. "I saw you with him," I said again, trying to hold my ground. "The janitor. You were." "Oh, come on," she cut me off. "He's not even a real janitor. He's just some guy they contract from the sanitation company. And you're acting like I committed a felony. You were cheating on me." She smirked. "Don't be dramatic. It was a moment. You should have knocked." That broke me. "I brought you tea," I whispered. "I came to surprise you." She raised her eyebrows, then laughed even louder. "You brought me tea? That's rich. God, you're too good to be real." Then she leaned in, almost nose to nose with me, her voice low. "You really thought I was working late? You really thought I was that into you? You, with your little job, your little routine, your little fragile heart. You believed every word I ever told you." I couldn't speak. My throat locked up. She looked at me with actual pity, like I was the one who'd messed up. "You know what your problem is," she said. "You're too loyal, too trusting. Guys like you get left behind." I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something. But all I did was sit down at the kitchen table and stare at my hands. They were shaking again. She sat across from me and studied my face. "I could lie," she said finally. "Tell you it was a mistake. That it didn't mean anything. That I still love you. You'd probably believe me, wouldn't you?" I looked at her. My voice barely came out. "Do you?" She smiled and said, "No. Then she grabbed her bag, stood up, and walked out. No goodbye, no apology, just that awful, casual exit. She left the door wide open behind her, and I just sat there like an idiot, crying, still hoping she might come back. The next morning, I called in sick. My voice cracked when I tried to speak, and my manager didn't ask questions. I think she heard it in my tone, that something broke. I sat in bed for hours. Didn't eat, barely moved. Just replayed everything in my head. Her face, her voice, that laugh, over and over. You really thought I was that into you? It haunted me. She didn't just cheat. She enjoyed breaking me. She wanted me to see. That's what I finally understood. She could have chosen anywhere, but she picked the supply closet. Left the door ajar. Let him touch her like that, in the same building where I used to bring her lunch during double shifts. She wanted to be caught, and that's when something inside me changed. Not all at once. Not like in movies. No, I was still crying. Still broken. Still hoping she'd text. But beneath the hurt, beneath the shame, something cold and quiet started growing. I didn't want her back anymore. I wanted her to hurt. Not physically. Not some fantasy of violence. That's not who I am. But I wanted her to regret it. To look back one day and wince when she remembered my name. I wanted her to feel a kind of shame that stuck, that stained her forever. And if I was going to pull that off, I had to play this smart. So I started small. First, I stopped texting her. 2 days later, she messaged me. Hope you're okay. We should talk. I didn't respond. Then another. Come on, don't be like this. I didn't cheat, it was just a moment. We were already having problems. Still nothing from me. She called. I let it ring. Then blocked the number. Then she emailed. That's when I smiled for the first time in days. Because it meant one thing. She didn't expect this. She thought I'd beg, cry, ask to fix things. Instead, I went silent. And I started watching. I made a burner social account and followed her profile. Private, but I still had a cousin on her friends list. I got in. She was posting again, smiling in stories, hanging out with new people, tagging places we used to go together. That told me something. She wanted me to see her moving on. That was fine. Let her feel invincible. Let her think she won. Because while she was posting brunch pics and smiling with her dirty sneaker janitor boy toy, I was digging. I called a friend who worked at the billing department at her job. Casual conversation. Nothing direct. I dropped her name, asked how things were going there. My friend said, Jenna? The one who's always flirting with Dr. Patel in the elevator. That stuck with me. Because the guy she was with in the closet? He wasn't Dr. Patel. That meant there were others. And if I could find out how far it went, if she ever crossed a line at work, then maybe I could hit her where it actually hurt. Not in the heart. In the career. I didn't know how yet. But I had time. I was done begging. I was planning now. And she had no idea. It took 2 weeks to put the first piece in place. I didn't talk to anyone about it. Not my coworkers. Not my parents. Not even my therapist, who I started seeing again because the anxiety was wrecking me. I told him I was dealing with a breakup, but I didn't tell him what I was planning. He wouldn't have understood. She worked at Lakeside Surgical Group, a fancy outpatient facility. Clean reputation. High-end clientele. The kind of place where nurses weren't just expected to be competent, but polished. Jenna was proud of that job, always bragging about how she was moving up. That one day she'd be managing her own floor. That was my target. Remember Dr. Patel? The one my friend mentioned she was flirting with in the elevator? Well, I found his LinkedIn. Then his real Instagram. Then his wife's Instagram. She was the gold mine. Dr. Patel's wife posted everything. Her kids. Her vacations. Her husband. Including one story from 2 months ago. Just a 10-second clip of a hospital banquet. Everyone dancing. Everyone drinking. And there, in the background, was Jenna, dancing way too close to Dr. Patel. Hand on his chest. Him leaning in, whispering something in her ear. I screen recorded it. I clipped just that part. Edited nothing. Didn't add commentary. Just raw footage. Then I used a free burner email and sent it directly to Lakeside Surgical Group's HR department. Subject: You may want to review employee behavior at off-site events. This may violate your professional conduct policy. I attached the clip. No signature. No name. Then I waited. 3 days later, I got a text from her. The first one in almost a week. Did you send something to my job? I smiled. No idea what you're talking about. She responded within seconds. Don't play dumb. This is serious. I'm being reviewed. I didn't reply. She called. I let it ring out again. Then a longer message. This isn't funny. I don't know what you're trying to do, but you could ruin my career. You think this is revenge? You think this makes you strong? This is pathetic. Pathetic. The word stung. Because deep down, I still believed it. But I also knew one thing for sure now. I got to her. That afternoon, my friend from billing called. I let it go to voicemail. Later, when I listened, her voice was quiet. Hey, just wanted you to know. Jenna got pulled into a closed-door meeting. Word is, she's under investigation. Something about boundary violations with a senior physician. Whole office is buzzing. I replayed the message 3 times. That night, Jenna went quiet online. No stories. No brunch. No fake laughs. Nothing. And for the first time in weeks, I slept. Not well. Not long. But I didn't wake up crying. That was a win. My first win. The silence didn't last long. 3 days after I sent the anonymous clip, Jenna was back online. Not just posting again, she was louder. Bigger. Almost theatrical. She uploaded a photo of herself in a white coat, one she never wore at work, with the caption, "New opportunities ahead. Can't dim the light in people who were born to lead." Hundreds of likes. Comments from coworkers and friends I used to eat dinner with. Go girl. Proud of you. Let the haters hate. I felt the ground shift beneath me. That's when I got the email. It came to my personal inbox. No subject. No text. Just an attached PDF. I hesitated before opening it. When I did, my stomach flipped. It was a scanned letter, on legal stationery, with a real attorney's letterhead. Not a lawsuit, but a warning. A formal notice. Our client has reason to believe that you, or someone acting on your behalf, submitted a defamatory message to her employer. Should any further interference occur, we will pursue civil action. My full name was on it. I couldn't breathe. I didn't sign that email. I didn't leave a trace. How did she know? Then I remembered. I told one person about the banquet video. A friend I thought I could trust. He must have said something to someone. Maybe even her. She was always charming. Manipulative. She could squeeze a confession out of anybody if she smiled long enough. I stared at the screen for over an hour. She had turned this around. I was supposed to be the one in control. But now I was the one being watched. That night, she texted me again. "You're not as smart as you think. Try me again and see what happens." And then, just to twist the knife, she posted a video of her and that same janitor from the closet. Not hiding. Not subtle. They were out at some trendy rooftop bar, clinking glasses. Her caption? "Some people talk. Others just live." I felt sick. I wasn't jealous. I was humiliated. This wasn't just about cheating anymore. This was war. And I had underestimated her. She wasn't just unfaithful. She was calculating. She knew how to spin every loss into a win. How to make herself the victim and me the obsessive ex. She was already rewriting the narrative. I watched people comment under her posts. "You're so strong. Some men just can't let go." They were talking about me. And I had no way to defend myself without looking like exactly what she painted me to be. Desperate. Bitter. Weak. She made sure I had no safe move left. She'd taken my dignity. Now she was coming for my name. And if I didn't regroup fast, she'd win. Not just this battle. All of it. The legal warning shook me, but it also made something inside me click. She wanted me scared. She wanted me panicking, deleting things, retreating. So I did none of that. I backed off. Publicly. No texts. No emails. No contact. For 2 weeks, I was invisible. Let her feel like she'd won. But behind the scenes, I changed everything. New email. New phone number. Locked down all my accounts. Changed passwords. Upgraded my home security, even installed a camera over my door. I didn't feel paranoid. I felt focused. Jenna thought I was still some sobbing ex. She had no idea I was planning something far cleaner. It started with a job listing. I found it through an HR contact from a temp agency I used to work with. They'd received a request from state medical licensing board investigators. They were hiring temps to review irregularities in facility staffing and credentialing after a tip came in about fraudulent scheduling at several outpatient centers. Guess who was on that list? Lakeside Surgical Group. I didn't even need to send anything new. I just added detail to what I already started. From another burner account, I submitted an anonymous tip, formal this time. I included dates. Shifts Jenna logged hours for when she wasn't even in the building. One time she claimed to be on call, but was actually on a weekend trip with the janitor. I attached screenshots from her own social media posts, timestamped. She'd bragged about working a 14-hour trauma shift on May 13th. That same night, she'd posted an Instagram story from a concert. I saved the video before she deleted it. In the background, the stage banner clearly said May 13th. She'd been so busy flaunting, she never noticed she was building the case for me. I sent it directly to the board's anonymous fraud reporting portal. Then I waited. And then it came. 12 days later, I heard from a mutual friend, not someone I'd spoken to in a while. They called me out of the blue. Hey, not sure if you heard, but Jenna got pulled from the surgery rotation. Something about a licensing review? She's been freaking out, crying at work. Word is, she might get suspended. I stayed quiet. The friend kept talking. She thinks it's you. I mean, is it? I didn't answer. I just asked, do you think she deserves to keep that job? There was a pause. Honestly, he said. No. That weekend, she texted me again. But it wasn't rage this time. It was desperation. Are you doing this to me? Please just stop. I can't afford to lose my license. I get it. I messed up. But don't ruin me. I didn't reply. For once, she was the one begging. And I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks. Control. Not revenge. Just balance. She'd laughed in my face. Mocked my love. Humiliated me publicly. Now she was Googling what happens when nurses get caught falsifying hours. I didn't need her to lose her job. I just needed her to know she could. I closed my laptop that night, shut off my phone, and went to bed. No nightmares. Just silence. The kind you earn. It started with a knock at my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. It was a Tuesday afternoon. I had the day off. Still in gym clothes, drinking a protein shake, watching replays of an old basketball game. 3 knocks. I checked the peephole. It was my landlord. Hey, he said, shifting awkwardly. Mind if I come in? That wasn't normal. He was always polite but distant. I let him in. He stood in the middle of the living room, eyes darting. I got a call this morning. From someone anonymous. Said you were making threats. That you were harassing a woman you used to date. Said she might need a restraining order. My heart dropped. Wait, what? She gave your name, your address, and she sent screenshots, emails, texts. I stood frozen. What text? He pulled out his phone, opened a folder of screenshots. My name at the top of each one. Messages I never sent. But they looked real. I know what you did. You're going to pay. You're nothing without me. I made you. You think anyone else would love you after what I know? Each one had a timestamp. Spread over the past month. Some even had fake delivery receipts. I didn't write those, I said, voice shaking. Look, my landlord said carefully, I believe you. I've never had a problem with you. But this is serious. If she files something, and the police show up, I have to legally disclose it to the building. That affects all tenants. So what are you saying? I'm saying, maybe you should consider moving. Before this escalates. He left me standing there. Everything started crumbling in that moment. I checked my old email, one I hadn't used since I blocked Jenna. There were over 20 new messages. Some from people I knew. Most from people I didn't. Stay away from her. You're disgusting. She's stronger without you. One message hit me hardest. It was from my manager. Please come in to discuss your recent behavior. We've had a complaint about your conduct off hours and need to evaluate your role in client-facing work. She didn't just attack me legally. She came for my livelihood. And she was smart. She didn't accuse me directly. She seeded the doubt. Sent whispers through my social circle. Forwarded fake screenshots to my manager, my landlord, even my volunteer group at the animal shelter. I knew it was her. The language in the screenshots, it mimicked how I used to write. She knew my tone, my phrasing, my timing. She forged it like a signature. I tried calling the number she used to text me from. Blocked. I sent one email from a new address. Why are you doing this? No answer. But the next day, she posted on Instagram. A photo of her smiling in a park, sunlight behind her. The caption? It's always the ones who seem the weakest who turn out to be dangerous. Grateful to have survived. Moving on. Thousands of likes. Dozens of comments. And I realized, she flipped the narrative again. I wasn't the betrayed one anymore. I was the villain. And I had no proof to say otherwise. She'd taken my trust, my dignity, and now she was taking my name. Piece by piece. I'd underestimated her once. Never again. She took my home, my job, and my name. But she made one mistake. She underestimated what I do for a living. I'm a data analyst. I don't build stories. I break them apart. It started with the screenshots she fabricated. I spent a week quietly dissecting them, frame by frame. Metadata, font inconsistencies, pixel spacing on timestamps. There were errors in every image. Most people wouldn't notice. But I did. The most damning mistake? One of the fake messages had a timestamp that read 5 hours 62 minutes p.m. 62. Amateurs. But I didn't confront her directly. No threats. No messages. Nothing traceable. Instead, I hired someone. A reputation attorney. Not for revenge, for restoration. He specialized in online smear campaigns and digital forgery. Quiet, clinical, surgical. We compiled a report. Fake texts. Fake emails. Proof of an orchestrated defamation effort across platforms. And most importantly, testimonies from 2 people who'd come forward after seeing what she did to me. Co-workers of hers. One had quit the surgical center because of Jenna's manipulative behavior. The other admitted Jenna had boasted about getting her ex fired just to prove she still had control. We submitted the entire file to her employer, Lakeside Surgical Group, and CC'd the state nursing board. No accusations. No drama. Just facts. Documents. Witnesses. Screenshots with error analysis. Digital forensics. My lawyer made sure everything looked clean, formal, emotionless. By the time Jenna found out, the review was already underway. And for once, she couldn't bury it under a selfie or spin it into a breakup poem. She called my old work number. Left a voicemail. Her voice was shaking. Please, call me. We need to talk. I don't know what you sent, but they pulled me from the schedule. I'm under full review. They froze my access. I didn't respond. She messaged me from another burner number. Whatever this is, you're going too far. I'm sorry. You made your point. I showed it to my lawyer. He smiled. We're not done yet, he said. The next week, we filed a petition with the state to formally challenge the harassment claims she had spread. I had enough evidence to not just clear my name, but hold her accountable for character defamation and interference with employment. And I wasn't asking for money. Just a statement. A formal, public correction. We served it to her attorney. Suddenly, the same woman who once laughed in my face now had to sit in a mediation room and explain under oath how I'd harassed her, while I presented timestamped flight receipts showing I wasn't even in the state when half the fake messages were supposedly sent. Her lawyer tried to settle. Mine said no. She had to retract it publicly. The same way she destroyed me digitally. And so she did. 3 days later, a short post appeared on her page. I want to clarify that recent events involving my ex were the result of miscommunication and misinformation. I regret any confusion and take responsibility for my part in the misunderstanding. No direct apology. No full truth. But it was there. In writing. Her image cracked. People started asking questions. Comments disappeared. Followers dropped. The rooftop photo stopped. And for the first time since she wrecked my life, I felt still. Not proud. Not triumphant. Just still. Because I'd proven to her, and to everyone else, one thing. I'm not who she thought I was anymore. And I never will be again. I should have known it wouldn't last. For a brief moment, I thought I had her cornered. Her license was under review. She'd issued a public correction. Her perfect online image had cracked. But Jenna was never the kind of person to stay down. 2 weeks after her forced apology, she disappeared from all social media. Her accounts wiped. No more rooftop bar posts. No more cryptic captions. She vanished. I thought maybe it was over. Until I got a letter at my door. Official looking. Hand-delivered. Civil suit. Defamation. Emotional distress. Loss of income. Filed by her. Her strategy was genius. She waited until the noise died down, then struck quietly, claiming I had created a false campaign to harm her reputation with malicious intent. She included doctored emails. Again. New ones. Better fakes this time. And this was the part that really shook me. She submitted letters from 2 co-workers backing her claims. Both of them women I didn't know. Both allegedly witnesses to my harassment. I felt the blood drain from my face. She had replaced the people who spoke for me with people who now spoke against me. My lawyer was stunned. Did you talk to these 2? He asked. No, I said. I don't even know who they are. He leaned back in his chair. She's playing a new game now. This isn't about you anymore. This is about burying the truth under enough noise that no one remembers what actually happened. It worked. The nursing board paused their investigation, citing conflicting statements and lack of sufficient corroboration. She was reinstated. Full duties. Back on schedule. And then she reappeared online. New account, new name, new city. Fresh start. Growth. Peace. Same old mask. And me? I was tired. Legally cornered. Burned out. My lawyer said we could fight, but it would take months, maybe years. Cost more than I had. And worst of all, she dragged my name through another mud bath, and she was better at that than I was. So I didn't file the countersuit. I let her win. I went quiet. And I accepted the idea that maybe she really had walked away with everything. Until one night, just before deleting my burner email accounts, I logged into the last one I hadn't touched in weeks and saw a message. Subject line: I don't know if this helps, but you should see it. Attached was a zip file. Inside? Screenshots. Photos. One video. It was a screen recording from her phone. A video call. Jenna and one of the witnesses from her civil suit. Laughing. The coworker says, "You sure he won't trace this back?" And Jenna, smiling wide, replies, "He's not even smart enough to know where to look. We just have to keep the story straight." Timestamped. Dated 2 weeks before the suit was filed. The message was anonymous. But whoever sent it, they'd been close to her. Close enough to see everything. And suddenly, I wasn't powerless anymore. I had something real. Concrete. Unforgeable. The very thing she thought she buried was about to become the shovel. The video was only 38 seconds long, but that was all it took. Her face, clear. Her voice, undeniable. Her words, unmistakable. We just have to keep the story straight. She didn't know someone had been recording her. And now, she couldn't take it back. I kept that file under lock and key for 2 days. I didn't send it. I didn't tell my lawyer. I just watched it. Again and again. Not because I doubted what to do, but because I wanted her to feel it first. I waited until Monday morning, 7:42 a.m., right before she was due to clock in for her shift. I emailed her directly. From my personal account. First time in months. No subject. Just one line. Watch the attachment. You have until noon. She opened it almost instantly. I saw the read receipt. Then, silence. No reply. No call. 9:17 a.m., I got a message from a private number. Please don't do this. I'm begging you. 10:05 a.m., another. Let's meet. Please. I'll explain everything. I chose the location, an empty parking lot behind the library downtown. Noon. She showed up early. Hair tied back. No makeup. Hospital scrubs wrinkled, like she'd changed in a hurry. Her hands shook. When she saw me, she didn't speak. She walked straight up and dropped to her knees on the concrete. Not dramatically. Like her legs gave out. Please, she whispered. Please don't send it. I didn't move. You'll lose your license, I said quietly. You'll be blacklisted. That lie you built, it'll unravel in less than 24 hours. I know, she said, eyes filled with tears. That's why I'm here. I waited. She looked up at me, voice shaking. I didn't think you'd fight back. Not like this. You were always the soft one. The good guy. I didn't think you had it in you. That was your first mistake, I said. I deserve it, she whispered. I know I do. But I'm asking you not to. Not like this. Please. You've already taken back your name. Don't take my future. I took the phone out of my pocket. Opened the file. Hovered over the send button. Her whole body tensed. Her breath hitched. I'll leave. The lawsuit. The lies. I'll drop it all. You'll never hear from me again. No tricks. No threats. You win. She pulled a folded envelope from her jacket. Set it on the pavement. My formal retraction, she said. Signed. Already notarized. I filed it this morning. I'll testify to everything. I swear. I picked it up. Opened it. It was real. She wasn't bluffing. I don't deserve mercy, she added. But I'm asking for it anyway. I looked down at her. The same woman who mocked me. Humiliated me. Tried to ruin me. Now begging at my feet. I stared at the screen one last time. Then I hit delete. The file disappeared. Forever. She looked up, confused. You're not going to send it? No. She swallowed hard. Why? I turned to walk away. Stopped. Looked over my shoulder. Because I don't need to destroy you to know I beat you. She lowered her head. I walked to my car. Closed the door. Sat in silence for a long time. Not satisfied. Not vindicated. Just free. And before I drove off, I said it aloud. The only thing left to say. What would you do in my place?